And hello everybody, happy Cyber Sunday. Hope you're doing well. I think we've all heard the idea that it takes 10,000 hours of practice to be an expert in something. Now I've read some places somewhere that have, I don't know, disproven that, but basically just say it's a false premise. There's different ways of practicing and that kind of thing. But in general, the concept is even if you don't think that that's exactly right, you've got to take time and practice to be good at something, no matter what it is in general. So, or to be an expert at it anyway, but you definitely need to practice. So that concept, that idea immediately came up in my mind when my friend Peter posted on the idea of practicing for tabletop exercises. So yeah, I've talked about tabletop exercises on here a lot, but he made a great point that, and he made an analogy that like if you're playing hockey, or if you're in I think he said philharmonic, like an orchestra, something like that. If you're in those, or if you're going to see those, you're going to see a hockey game, or you're going to see an orchestra play and spend the money, the hundreds and possibly thousands of dollars to go see something like that, that you expect it to be really good. And you expect it to be good, and usually it's going to be good, typically. Especially if you're seeing a professional hockey team, or a professional football team, or a professional orchestra, because they practice a lot. They practice a whole lot. And he used that analogy to say, why do we limit ourselves to 1 to 4 tabletop exercises per year? We have to practice those in order to get good at them. And it's a great point. You absolutely do have to practice it. Now, I don't think Peter would say that you have to practice 10,000 hours to be obviously that a little crazy. But what it also brought up in my mind was me being at a customer a few weeks ago and kind of sitting on the sidelines while they performed a tabletop exercise. And I think I've mentioned it on Cyber Sunday before, this particular instance, but this tabletop exercise was not limited, or was not among the like IT and the cybersecurity group, and it was broader than that, at a higher level, with business unit leaders from all kinds of different business units, legal and finance, and I think there was HR and some other groups in there. So the point is that if you're at that level, that's the kind of level of tabletop exercise you're doing. It's extremely hard to get them together more than probably a couple times a year to do a half-day exercise like they did that way. And I know that actually doesn't sound like a whole lot, but I mean, those people have got a lot of work to do that's not cybersecurity focused. They've got to do a lot of other stuff. Same way, just if you're just in cybersecurity, you've still got to do your day-to-day job. So how do you do tabletop exercises more than a few times a year when everybody's got other stuff to do, especially if they're not in cybersecurity? So somebody made the point down in the comments, and I'll put a link to Peter's post in this. They made a comment of using tools like ThreatGen, my buddy Clint, and his company, which I've been involved with a lot, where they do tabletop exercises with a tool. And that's a great idea. It is the efficiency that you need to build into that process in order to get the practice you need without having to take all of those people into a room multiple times a year and going over that. So there's efficiencies you can build in using tools. And AI, yes, I said it, everybody drink, has enabled that a lot, and Clint is using that in his tool. There's also a matter of just having plans in place that people can review on a regular basis. You could tell that team, that company I was at, they had a pretty good plan. There was some gaps in it, and that's why they were doing it, to find that out. But getting a plan in place like that is absolutely what you need. Does that mean you have to get everybody in the room to practice that plan multiple times a year? Maybe, maybe not. Can you use tools with that plan in it or have people review that plan? Yes. Do you need to do the practice to find out where the gaps are in the plan? Absolutely. 100% agree with Peter on that. And again, I don't think he would mean you got to get people together 40 times a year. But you do have to get people together, but you've got to figure out ways of being more efficient with it so everybody in their different roles can keep doing their jobs. So think about ways of being efficient with your tabletop exercises, of getting that knowledge in people's head of how the path needs to work, of practicing it, reviewing it, being efficient with it, maybe limiting those things to an hour when you do them if you can do them. Those are the kind of things you need to do so you can practice those tabletop exercises, but not be such a heavy burden that nobody wants to do them, because that's what you run into the danger of, is like everybody's like, this is too heavy of a burden, I can't do it. So let me know what you think. Give me some other ideas you've got for building efficient tabletop exercises and doing that throughout the year. Talk to you next time.